The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, I'm Dante.
And hey, I'm Dana.
And welcome to the Donta Show.
What's up, Village? It's your boy Kwame, the man with the plan behind the stands. I'm going to go ahead and make this quick because some of y'all got mouths and be talking mess in the comments and saying that the intro commercial is too long. So, I got something for you. Here we go. Let's get into it. Before we bring out these awesome kings, I need you to stop what you're doing. Excuse me? Excuse me? Ma'am, sir, you, you. Whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, I need you to go ahead and share this live stream. Dante and Dana didn't get all dressed up for you not to share their melanated goodness, so share. You share everything else up in here. Share some quality content for your boys. Now that we mentioned YouTube, are you subscribed to the Donta Show's YouTube? Oh, you're not? Oh, girl. I'm going to need y'all to get it together. Join the village. Go over to www.youtube.com/Dante Morrison. And when you get a chance, head over to Dr. Morrison's. That's right, your boy got his PhD. Head over to Dr. Dante Morrison's website, www.dantemorrison.com, where you can learn more about the man, the myth, the legend known as Dante. And while you're at it, grab some TDS merch and his books. Yes, purchase those smutty books filled with smut. Grab The End of the Rainbow and Yesterday Clarified. And last but not least, head over to the company that put this all together, Pyro Media Network. Pyro Media Network is a proactive network focused on providing an innovative space for content creators and entrepreneurs. PMN is dedicated to giving its viewers a diverse entertainment experience while helping content creators elevate their production, engagement, and overall branding. To date, PMN has reached over 1 million viewers and listeners internationally, produced over 52 successful shows with high ratings and fanfare, and has housed over 60 content creators, brands, and businesses through entertainment and consulting services exclusive to PMN. Pyro Media Network is a network that makes you feel at home. So if you have an idea for a show, podcast, or need some professional video and audio production for your business or brand, then join the Pyro family today. Go ahead and visit www.pyromedianetwork.com and we will show you how to go to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please help me welcome my brothers from another mother, the dynamic duo, the melanated kings themselves, Dante and Dana. Let's get it. Let's go!
we can We can ask the people. What's up, y'all? Oh, Kwame, can you add Dana to the title of here? I want him to feel included. So Dana just sat down next to me and he said he got a new phone. And then he held up what he purchased and it was a Galaxy. So I said, well, you didn't get a new phone. You got a Galaxy. Only new phones are iPhones. You don't have an iPhone, you will never have a new phone. That is the Donta Show. Thank you for watching. Good night and God bless. So we are here, y'all. So welcome to the Donta Show. Hopefully you are all watching us on your iPhone or Apple TV or whatever the case may be. So hopefully you had a great Monday. You are back. Tonight is going to be a very raw conversation. We got some guests already in the green room waiting to jump on and go ham. They wait and jump on. What's up, Pam? What's up, Pam? What's up, JoJo? What's up? Hey, Joe, I sent you an invite to my function and you never replied. So I just want to know what's good. We got beef. You coming? Nah. What's going on? That's all, So we're gonna move on to the show on tonight. So I would ask Dana how's he doing, but you will hear more about that as the show progresses on tonight. So those that came out and supported me in the play this past weekend, Truth, Lies, and Hidden Agendas, I really appreciate you. Kudos to Danica Clark and the entire cast of the play. We put it down Saturday, 2 shows, and then Sunday, 1 show. It was a phenomenal experience. If you came out and I didn't get a chance to see you or talk to you after the play ended, just know that I appreciate you. It's all love. I am so happy for it. Kim Sutton, what's up? Donisha White, what it do, Donisha? What's good? What's good? What's good? And then, I gotta say, this week I am so excited because this Saturday I am actually walking the graduation stage. So my graduation is this Saturday at 2:30 p.m. and I am so excited. I'm even singing the national anthem. Can you believe it? I'm singing the national anthem for my graduation. So this Saturday, I'm gonna walk the stage and put it behind me. I will officially be done with Pepperdine University once I cross that stage, because it's been like almost a year since I actually got my doctorate, but I have not celebrated it because I didn't have the ceremony. But my ceremony is this Saturday, so I'm excited. All right.
So because of COVID or they just put on?
No, because basically when I did my dissertation, I was like 2 weeks late to make the stage last May. So I finished it, and then they said, okay, you get to walk next May. I'm like, I wait a whole year to walk. They're like, you the one that was fast tracked yourself to this doctorate. Yeah, because I want to stop paying them bills for them classes. But in any event, my graduation is this Saturday, and I'm so excited. All right, what's up, Sean? Thanks for coming yesterday to the play. It was good to see baby mama. It was good to see you. Glad you were there. Pam, I'm gonna send you the link. You can actually watch it live. It is 2:30 this Saturday. I'm going to send you the link to watch my graduation live. You can watch it live. So I will send you that. All right. All right. So we're going to have a conversation on tonight. It may be triggering for some, but it's still it's necessary. We got to talk about it. We got to dig deep into it because I didn't have a topic tonight. And then Kwame, the producer of the Donta Show, reached out and said, yo, let's have a town hall conversation. I said, okay, bet. Line up the guests and we can chop it up, because we all know that we're just tired. I mean, we've been going through so much as of late. And when I say as of late, I mean the last 3 years. We've been going through so many ups and downs, ebbs and flows, and we're trying to get excited about life. But right when we get to that happy place, something happens to remind us that, we're still in a world of chaos. We're still in a world of foolishness. We're still in a world of hate. And I think what irritates me more is that all this stuff is going on, this tragedy and trauma and whatnot. But yeah, exactly, Frat. But people still got time to care about who the Kardashians just married. Yeah. It flashed across my news feed today. I guess Khloe or one of them Kardashian broads married Travis Barker.
Was it
Courtney married Travis, and so I'm like, I don't care. And the way that some people thrive off of these celebrities, like they get their entire life off of celebrity movements, is kind of creepy. It's kind of scary, because some of the stuff that makes media headlines, I'm looking like no one no one cares. No one cares. Oh my God, Kim Kardashian gave her kids a bath today.
Right.
What? Who? No one cares. But, and I'm not going to say it's a generational thing, because I do know a lot of millennials and Z generations that can give two flying whatevers about what some of these socialites and all that are doing. But it makes you wonder, why does the stuff that really, really, really matter, the stuff that we really need to be attacking and digging up to the root and getting rid of, why does that always seem to be so fly by night? But that's the American way. So tonight we have 3 guests that are going to come on, and they're going to rah-rah with us. You all know Sheryl Bailey. You know, Sheryl is an outspoken attorney that has been on the show numerous times and basically told us to go on down and get us a gun. That was Sheryl, but we're going to leave Sheryl where Sheryl's at. Then we got Nicole Vick. Nicole Vick is an author, pushing through. Nicole is all about keep going, don't give up. We gotta make sense of some of this stuff. And then first time guest is Nomsa. Nomsa is another doctor that's going to come on the show and join this conversation. So we have 3 ladies, 2 fellas. We all Black. We're going to talk about Black things on tonight. So Kwame, let's get this conversation going. Bring them on. There they go.
Hello.
Queens.
Hey,
I love
that.
all
I like
that
that.
melanin. All that melanin. Nicole, show us the nails. What's your nail game doing? What's your nail game?
Hey.
When I say Nicole would change them nails tonight, there'll be a whole new color tomorrow. Right. She ready. By the time the show ends, she'll have a whole new set of nails. But we're going to get into this conversation. And I mean, we kind of started it before we went live, and but I got to pace it because, Sheryl did a class today that probably ran her low, but we're going to just dissect some of the stuff. And one of the things that, I'm going to let Dana start the conversation. And, top of the show, I always ask Dana, how you doing? How was your weekend? What's good? What's going on? But I'm going to let Dana start, and wherever you want to start, D, go ahead.
Hello, ladies.
Hello. Hey.
Welcome to the show tonight. I don't know if you all know, but I am from Buffalo. And the place where all this took place was the neighborhood that I grew up in. Oh. Still, when I go home, I'm in that neighborhood. That's where my mom lives. So it's a very touchy situation. I knew 4 people that got murdered. 4 of the victims I knew personally. The security guard, I knew him from going into the store over the years. One was one of my good friends, his mom. And then another one, we call her Auntie Pearl. It was my cousin's grandmother. So it's touchy. I mean, you hear about these things happening, all over the world and things like that. But like this really hit home because thinking about it immediately when it happened, and I thought about my buddy and his mom. His aunt was in the store with his mom, and his aunt was able to move a little bit quicker than his mom, so she jumped in the freezer. And his mom couldn't move that fast, so that's how she got shot. So I immediately thought about my mom and my aunt because they're always in the store together. My mom can't walk that fast. So, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff going on in my head, a lot. I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm devastated. I just feel numb because it's like it's nothing you can do because it's just like a cycle. Every couple of months or every couple of weeks, something's happening. And this right here I don't know. I'm just going with the flow right now.
And it seems to, I don't want to be selfish and say it always seems to happen to us, but it seems to always happen to us. We go back to Charleston. I mean, they going in churches and killing us in churches. They're killing us in supermarkets. Law enforcement is killing us on the streets. And people are saying, well, it's not just black folks. Everyone, it's gun control, yada yada yada. Yeah, we got that. We got that. But still, these kind of situations always seems to happen to us. And now that it has hit home, for many of you who've been watching the Donta Show, you know that Dana is all about love. Dana is all about inclusion. Dana is all about checking on your loved ones, making sure they're okay. So to know that something like this literally hit home for Dana, I pray that it puts a different spin on it for you, because this is someone that you know, albeit virtually. This is someone that you know that has been directly affected by this heinous hate crime. Gotta call it what it is, a hate crime. Before we went live, before Dana got to my house, it was like the thing that seems to be the constant is that the culprit always safely makes it to jail.
Yeah.
Safely makes it. They safely make it to their cell. They're safely transported, and then they can safely sit in front of the judge and stand trial. But when it's us, when we do that, we, mysteriously die in jail cells, Sandra Bland. We mysteriously die in the back of the police wagon, Freddie Gray. Something always seems to happen to us. But these serial mass murderers, racist mass murderers, are safely captured, safely transported, and then stand trial. So, Sheryl, I know that you are biting at the bit to just dive in. So, however you ladies want to enter this conversation, let's just go.
I
just want to say
Yeah.
one thing. I think we need to really center what we're talking about right now and offer our condolences, our sympathies.
Yes.
Dana is very closely impacted by what has happened, and he's here tonight present with us. And I think we should acknowledge that. And we also should hold a little bit of space for those that we lost. These are people that have families, that were loved, and that were upstanding members of their community. And I actually would argue and say it don't even matter what kind of members of the community they were. They deserved to live and to not be killed in the way that they were. So I just want to first ground and hold that space. I've been taught that from someone I love dearly. We got to stop and hold that space. And I just wanted to do that. And then now I'm going to be quiet.
No, I was going to say the same thing. Like, we shouldn't rush over what we just heard. I think that one of the things, especially being Black in this country, is that people force us to move forward in our trauma so quickly so that we can't even appreciate what happens. So we become desensitized as to what is going on. And so I really appreciate that we just stop for a second. And like you said, Nicole, to just hold space, not only for Dana, but for all of us, because this is a communal tragedy, and it causes not only trauma to people who are closely related to the situation, but a secondary trauma is re-triggering old traumas, and is also generational trauma.
Right.
And there's a lot of mental health associated with that. Like Dana said, he felt, angry, sad. There's grief involved. There's, the thought, the fact that the gunman targeted a highly Black area. Like when he said, his aunt and Dana, when you said your mom and your aunt, I could see my mom in Compton going to the Food for Less.
Right.
And that would be a target area. And she can't move fast either. And I could see my brother trying to, we could put ourselves in that situation. And I just want to make sure that we don't become so desensitized to these conversations that we forget the humanness of it and the weight of it and the feeling of it, because that's the only way we're going to push forward and actually make some actual real change in our own lives. Because we can't change other people's hatred, but we can change how we move and how we talk about it. So I just want to say, Dana, thank you for being open and honest and to show your vulnerability, because a lot of times, especially men, they don't allow us to see them grieve. And it helps us as women because we are able to now support you. And even as other men, to be able to support each other like you and Dante are doing right now. So I think it's very
Right.
important that we just say that in this space as well.
And I think for me, the reason why I pushed past it so quick, because when Dana gets emotional and he's sitting this close to me, it will suck me in. and I'm not trying to belittle it, but I'm like, okay, if he go, I'm gonna go. You know, and then it'll be just 3 of y'all on the show, because I'll tell Kwame to just take us out and y'all just talk. So I was like, okay,
we can run the show.
I'm like,
Dante.
okay, we gotta, you know, and I look at, and even, you know, Joe and Dana have never met face to face, but they have this connection through social media where they have this banter and whatnot. And I know Joe, and Joe's 100%. You know, that's my frat brother. And for Joe to say love you, bro, he means that.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
dude, like real talk. And when I saw Dana posted this on his timeline yesterday, it hit me. And then when he walked in today, normally Dana walks in chipper with some popcorn and we joking and laughing, and I felt the heaviness. And I even asked him, are you okay with us doing this tonight? Because it's a lot of other stuff we dealing with as Black people we can unpack. And he said, okay. And thank you, Nicole, for pausing me. But I was like, if I stop, you know, and the anger, because I'm really angry.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired. I'm tired of these traumas just being a soundbite. I'm burnt out. You know, we get all the media hype for a week, and then it's on to the next one.
Right.
You know, I'm just and the fact that we have to now feel that we have to be on guard everywhere we go.
Crazy.
Everywhere we go. You know, our elders aren't safe. They're not safe sitting in church. They're not safe going grocery shopping. You know, they're not safe. And then if we want to defend them, we're not safe because law enforcement doesn't protect us for protecting us.
Right.
You know, so it's just this hamster wheel of anger and rage.
Because I guarantee you, when they were arresting this guy or whatever, I don't even know how they got him or whatever, but I guarantee you, because of where they were, I know for a fact that some fellas had some stuff on them. I know for a fact.
And was ready.
So if they would have taken aim and shot at this guy or what have you, they would have got in trouble too.
Mm-hmm. They got killed.
They would have got killed.
Not in trouble. They got killed. They got shot.
Yeah, and we've seen that happen, like at the mall shooting. I forgot where it was, where a Black guy was actually trying to protect people and help them get out of the mall, and the police ended up shooting him because he was like security or something.
Yeah.
A Black person with a gun, a Black person, period, armed or not, is always going to be considered dangerous in this world, even though we don't cause all the harm.
Yeah.
And that's the situation that we're living in. And I think one of the things that we have to be very careful with, even talking about this situation and the other situations, is, especially with this situation, this was cultivated.
Yeah.
The environment in which this young dude got these ideas was cultivated and is still being cultivated to millions of people every single day.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, where, outside of our processing our own mental health and our own grief and all those things, that we have to understand that this is not a freak incident.
No.
This is cultivated,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to start attacking those cultivations, like with Fox News and, you know, all these places online and these social media sites that are spreading this disinformation and trying on purpose to make us targets in order to create whatever war we're already ensnarled in. So
now,
I think
I just want to know from the three of you, what do you think about the fact that every time something like this happens, the first thing they do is mental health?
Oh, dude, would you just read them? I was about to say the same thing. You just read them.
Yeah, it's the first thing they always say.
Mental health.
He had a mental health problem. He was mentally disturbed, and as a child, you know, he was always troubled in school. And hate is hate.
But this fool drove there
2 hours.
2 hours.
with the cat. I mean,
2 hours.
I saw the video of the entire shooting. I saw the video. I'm not going to ever look at it again, but I saw it. And for them to say mental health when he's going through there shooting black people and he walks down an aisle and a white man's on the floor saying, oh, and he says, oh, sorry, and walks past him, it's not the young man's fault that was laying there. You understand? I don't wish death on anybody, but that shows you what it was.
Absolutely. It was an execution. It was an execution. I mean, from the parking lot into the grocery store. It was
wasn't in the parking lot. She was just going into the store. She just got out of her car, walking into the store to go get shot. She don't even know what the hell hit her.
Yeah.
I
mean, the reason why they keep saying mental health is because they have to fit it into a narrative. The narrative is when black people do something bad, it is in our DNA. When white people do something bad, it is an anomaly. So now it has to be some external force that caused this to happen. And for white people, it's mental health because now we have to have sympathy for this white man. Or they try to label him. I'm surprised they did better this time because usually, even though he's 18, they would be calling him a little kid or a boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was surprised that I heard them call him a man today.
Yeah.
But that's the language that they use to create subtle differences between how they report on us versus how they report on them.
And I think part of that, I'll jump in real quick, is that someone brought that up because the Associated Press called Mike Brown, right? I hope I'm saying his name right. When he was killed, they called him an 18-year-old man. And they initially called this person an 18-year-old boy. And so I think there was a lot of pushback and noise around that, like Associated Press, come on now. You know, your implicit bias, or maybe in this case, explicit bias, you know, is showing. And the media does a really good job of creating a narrative. I did a paper because I'm in school too. Well, y'all finished with school. I'm still in school. Around missing white women syndrome and how that impacts how murder cases or missing people cases are covered, are handled by law enforcement. And it said even, you know, how the media puts out information about crimes dictates how law enforcement responds to the crime. The media plays a huge role. And if they're calling, you know, a black man an 18-year-old man, but then this white one, an 18-year-old boy, that says a lot. So we got to be careful about the media, and we got to read between the lines, and we have to push back.
And because
but it also goes back to how the value of people. Right. And so a white woman or this white murderer, right, is seen in a certain kind of way. Right. And then there's value to his life versus the value to a black man's life. So they're already trained. It's already ingrained to be afraid of black men.
Right.
You're already on, you know, they're already ready to pull a trigger. Right. And so if you are going back to what Nicole and Sheryl said, this narrative, so in order to not make him look like, or you talk about him in the same kind of fear way that you talk about black men, your only story you have is mental illness.
Yeah.
That's the only story that they have, because we know that's not true. Right. And when it comes to us, mental health never comes up.
Never.
They don't care if we got a mental illness. That doesn't mean, you know, the narrative that they have about us is that we're animals, we're savages. They should be afraid of us. So it's already this fear factor that exists. And the media sets it up, right? So it's like, there's no value to our lives. So we don't get that play, that airplay. The conversation is if it was the other way around.
Right.
And that's
we also got to think about
real quick. I want to get Sharitha Johnson's comment. How she said mental health never applies to us, and then the white person lives to see another day, but a black person would have been killed because they would say he had a gun and felt threatened for their lives. Absolutely. And I think that's important to bring, because it ties in what Nomsa just said, how they identify us. So this white man had a gun. He has shot 11 people. You know, he is an obvious threat. But he walks away alive to see another day. You know, had the tables been turned, had it been a black gunman going into, you know, a department store or whatever and shot up all these white people, he would not have been escorted out. he would have been killed.
Dead.
And if he didn't die, he definitely would have been shackled and drug out like a pig, you know, by all these cops and whatnot. He would not have been casually escorted
with
to the
hand
police
on the
car.
shoulder, walking them in.
Like everything's gonna be okay.
My brother was like, they probably offered the niggas to do some water.
It takes me back to the movie. If you ever saw Higher Learning, at the end of Higher Learning, when the white boy killed Tyra Banks or Deja, you know, and they chasing him down and he got the gun. They know he killed someone and they saying, calm down, kid. Calm down, kid. It's going to be okay. We know you didn't mean to do it. What? He didn't mean to do it. It was a racially motivated murder, you know, and it's just sad. So go ahead, Cheryl. I'm sorry.
No, I think also you got to think about the policing aspect too, is all the things that we're saying is that what is the racial identification of the police people that show up? How are they trained? And why do they automatically, and you know, training is not the issue. We all know the issue is white supremacy and racism.
Yes.
But when somebody looks like you and you see them as a human being. Yep. When they don't look like you and you see them, you only see them as the stereotypes of what you are quote unquote accustomed to dealing with. So that's why they always treat white murderers with such kid gloves, because they could say, oh, he looks like he could be my son. He could be my whatever. And when they see us, they don't see that. They just see other.
Yep.
So that's part of the problem within itself as well.
Yeah. And for those who are just tuning in, we're talking about what happened in Buffalo, and it personally affected the Donta Show because Dana knew many of the victims there. It was in the neighborhood that Dana grew up in. He still has a lot of connections to the residents of that area. And Dana did share at the top of the show, you know, his relationship to some of the individuals that did pass away. So if you're just now tuning in, like, why are they talking about this or whatever, what I missed, it personally hit us. All right. It personally hit us. So if you want to go back after the show has ended and then really just see how Dana shares, you know, really personally shares what happened and how it hit him, you know, you can do that. But that's what we're really unpacking this the way we did, because it's personal now. You know, a lot of times people don't care about stuff until it hits home. Albeit we've gone through all kind of traumas when it comes to either systemic racism, police injustice, whatever. When it really hits home, it puts a whole nother spin on it. And Dana opened up about how this hit home and how, you know, the survivors of the situation shared the stories of what they experienced, you know, and he did talk about that at the top of the show. And I brought on 3 guests to really help us unpack it. And we're continuing to go through these type of traumas. And Kyrie said something very, is really powerful. He said, do I see it? Do I see it? Kyrie said something powerful. Believe that.
Right.
He said, never. And we're carrying around the most traumas. That's in relationship to how we're escorted. We don't get escorted out after committing crimes. We're carrying around the most traumas, most of which was caused by them. Cheryl talked about white supremacy. And it's funny, whenever we say white supremacy, white folks think that we're angry and all that. No, it is what it is. Study white supremacy. It is what it is. White supremacy. I mean, it is what it is.
Critical race theory, all of it.
The critical race theory and all that. Those are legitimate, you know, things. So Kyrie, nail on the head. We're white people have traumatized us, and then mad when we react a certain way to those traumas that you put upon us. It's like if you're in an abusive relationship and the person says, "I'll never beat you again." Well, the minute they lift their hand, you're gonna wince because all you know them to do is to hit you. White people, that is the same thing Black folks are going through when it comes to you. Yes, some of y'all have integrated into our spaces and we will hand you a chicken dinner with potato salad. We'll do the whole thing. But at the end of the day, you best believe we still know you are white. And we still know what white folks are capable of. Albeit we're sitting next to you. We're eating with you. We have no beef with you, but we know what white folks are capable of.
You know, Donta, I think the issue with that too is that one of the biggest problems is, of course, what happened. This person was an extremist. There's a whole group of people like him that are extreme. But what we need to also be really worried about are the quiet moderates, them white people that say, "Oh my gosh, I'm not racist. I have black friends. Everybody should have equal opportunity." But they're the ones that are quiet. Or they're the ones that vote the other way when stuff happens. I was in Santa Barbara, and women were out there protesting, "Keep your hands off my vagina." I'm like, but y'all the same ones that vote for the people that are the ones that's trying to take away your right to do what you want to do with your body. Where's the dissonance? What's going on?
Come on, dissonance.
And that's the thing with white supremacist ideology. It gets people to go against their own interests. Because the power of whiteness and not wanting to lose your privilege will make you vote against your own interests every single time. And I think we also have to understand that in this situation and what's being taught, that makes this situation not even unique, but really brings to the forefront what's now being permeated into a lot of these white moderates' heads, is this whole idea that Fox News and a lot of people are pushing that the Democrats and progressive people are trying to push out their way of life through eliminating whiteness.
Yeah.
Okay. Either through immigration or through cross-marrying. And this has been a conversation for a long time. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing was talking about it in the 1970s or whatever, where they're so scared of that one drop of Black blood contaminating their whiteness and them losing their power, that now they've been spending decades sending this message. Like one of the new shows that I showed, so that, Fox News and Tucker Carlson, their whole thing is to get that message across to their millions and millions of white people watching. And they're now grooming their children with that ideology. So they're not saying black or white, they're saying they call it replacement theory. And it's been called so many different things throughout time. And we have to really start listening to things on a deeper level and understanding that we have to start really pushing back on a lot of narratives that have to go. Yeah.
Sheryl, listen, Kwame is telling me we got to go to commercial. So y'all know I can keep going with this, because when it comes to white replacement theory, critical race theory, and all that I'm theory. And Nicole is getting her doctorate, so she's theory now too. Give it up for Nicole getting that doctorate. You open the door. We got to go to commercial. Yo, don't nobody leave. Matter of fact, invite your friends to come back for the second half of this phenomenal conversation. We're going to take a deep breath. I'm going to hug on Dana. We'll be right back, y'all, in 2 and 2. Yeah, I mean, for what? Okay, we're back. Dana was just catching me up on more details behind the scenes of what happened in his neighborhood in Buffalo.
And that's what this 716 is. This is the Buffalo's area code. So I wear it proud. I'm proud to be where I'm from.
Wow. So here's my question. Why do we waste money on a trial?
Because now you can't ask a criminal defense attorney that question.
It was intentional, Cheryl.
You gonna get me riled up.
We know he did it. We know he did it. Why are we wasting money on a trial?
We waste money on a trial because we do not want to be living in a society where people can just accuse you of something and you don't have the right to a defense.
But there's no accusation.
It's protecting your constitutional right. If you lose if you are not willing to fight for the constitutional rights of the worst person, then you are freely giving up your own constitutional rights.
He said not guilty.
When they arraigned him on,
Saturday,
he said not guilty.
Yes.
After he put it on Twitch, after he had a GoPro.
He said not guilty.
After we heard him talk about, I'm going to park right here. I'm going to do all this.
In most jurisdictions, for your first arraignment, your only plea is not guilty, because you have to go. It's a procedural stage.
Now, because
look, don't be trying to give up your constitutional rights now.
I'm just saying. Well, because I mean, are we even in the Constitution? I mean, so okay, so because he's 18, are his parents going to be held liable for any of this?
He's an adult, legally.
Okay, are we going to do something to his parents?
Huh?
Are we going to do something to his parents?
Are you? Or are you going to keep marching?
If you do, you better not say it on air.
I get the whole marching thing, but I am slowly evolving into a Malcolm. I was like really Martin about 5 years ago. Then once I started my doctoral journey, I was like, okay, I get you, Martin, but Malcolm was kind of more on point with all this, because right now I'm tired of locking arms singing "We Shall Overcome." When?
I think the thing is that people don't realize it was never Malcolm versus Martin.
It never
You need
was.
both. You need people who march and you need people who shoot. We just forgot the latter part.
And Martin was really radical toward the end. You know, he was the one that talked about the quiet moderate. Like, and also talked about, I felt like I led my people into some BS with all this talk. So I think he was coming along.
And I think this is also the conversation we have to have with Black people.
And your strategy has to be a balance. It's not one or the other. It
That's
has to be
being burnt out.
And I would say it's not even about being burnt out. I think there is so much. I mean, let's just, nothing that's been created and put into place was designed for us.
Right.
None of it. None of it was designed for us. And so with that, all these things that are happening, and we're trying to figure out, well, how do we stop it? Well, unless you completely dismantle everything that exists, because reforming is there. What are we going to reform? You can't reform systems, policies, institutions that weren't designed to protect us, that weren't designed to educate us, that wasn't designed for us to have wealth. They weren't designed for us to exist except for being the property of somebody else, building somebody else's wealth. So until we can get to a place, and I don't know that it will happen in my lifetime. I'm 52, will be 53. I don't know that I will see it in my lifetime or any great grandchildren's lifetime, but it will be the dismantling of every institution, every policy. And what that then also means is white men, white Christian straight men, because those are the folks that's calling, trying to make sure that their power doesn't go nowhere.
Put the white gay ones in there too.
Well, we can put them in there. You can put them in there, but the reality is, who they was really talking about is straight, religious, white men of wealth.
Absolutely. And the thing is, and then the crazy thing is, when you get people like us, and I'll just use myself, I'm in class and I'm telling people, we can't fix this. This is a house on a broken foundation, and we trying to put curtains in it and paint the walls pink because we think it's cute. We need to burn it down. When you say burn it down in a company of people, non-melanated people, whoa. What you mean burn it down? What does that mean? I mean, it works for some people, does it? I mean, all the systems can't be bad. And that's where the problem is. Going back to what I said, these white moderates, whoa, because it works for them.
Right.
And they're comfortable. And so when we say we are hurting, burn it down, they don't want to hear it.
Right.
And we live by ourselves fighting.
Yeah, and the thing is that when we say burn it down, the problem what we have is that we don't have another model. Right. And so a lot of time what I see us trying to do is to create a Black version of a white model. And you can't do that either. So it's really coming up with our own system and not really messing with their system. The good thing is, and this is what I see, is that their system is so destructive, it's destroying itself.
Yeah.
It's imploding.
We have to stay out the way of, stop saving. We save a lot. Yes. We allow them to apologize. We allow them. We save the Democratic Party. We save. We do a lot of saving.
We're like Samuel Jackson and Django.
We allow them to the picnic. They
we
come
scream
to the
when Master gets shot. We lose it and all that. I mean, not all of us, but there are some Black
people. There are a lot
that
because
really
it's the only system we know.
That's right.
Because I said in Django.
Oh, okay.
He played a character.
Oh, okay.
But there are some Black people that really would go against Nicole, saying, now, Nicole, you're just being too radical. Yeah. Everything's not against us. And, we have the same opportunities as they have and yada, yada. No, we don't. We do that.
It's the same thing they said about Malcolm. They said it about Malcolm. They said it about Martin. Anybody who tries to do something different, that is always going to be the conversation. Like I've said before, everybody thinks we all need to be kumbaya. No, we don't. 90% of people will always be followers.
Right.
What you need is the leaders to get the followers together. But you have to have a vision. If you don't have a vision, write the vision and make it plain. If you don't have a vision, that's the problem. We are so busy trying to survive. We don't have vision.
Right.
And we're trying to fix other people. I can't fix white racism. That's not my job.
Responsibility. Absolutely.
It's not my responsibility. But what I can do is prepare myself, prepare my house, prepare those around me to protect ourselves while we're going through this season. Because like all seasons, it can't last. America is not going to be America forever. Like every other kingdom, it's going to crumble. It just is.
You're right, and I can't stand when white people ask me, well, how should we fix racism? I didn't create it. I don't. Y'all did this whole white supremacy thing. I don't know what are you talking about? So and I think that's when you also made a good point, Sheryl. Well, all of y'all making phenomenal points.
Right, yeah.
What do we want? And I think when we take the time, if we were to have a Black newsletter that went out or did a doodle poll and said, type in the poll, what do you want? And then we can kind of measure that and then wash the data and then do a black people report and said, okay, based upon 100 billion Black people in the United States, this is what we concluded that we want. These are the top 10 things that we want. But right now, everybody seems to want something different, and we have not captured what do we really want. What do we want?
But I don't even think that's true.
I don't think so
we
either.
want what all human beings want. We just see how to get there differently.
Right.
There are certain universal needs that we all have.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the first thing that we need and foundation is to know who we are.
I knew one was coming sooner or later.
Say that again, Sheryl. I'm sorry. Kyrie's comment.
I saw the comment too. We all have, there are universal human needs that we all have.
Of course.
Number one, yes, is to know self. We need to be educated, food, shelter. All those things are very basic.
Mm-hmm.
How they separate us is in dumb minutia bullshit, like politics, like dumbass abortion questions, like Christianity and different religions,
Like
like
Kevin
light skinned
Samuels.
and dark skinned. You know, and I know I said skin did.
Right.
I
No,
did
that's
that
right.
on purpose.
Yeah.
Whether your
the black
sexuality,
community.
all the things that do not matter, they have to put us in different tribes so that we don't come together on the basic essentials that we need.
Yep.
And that's what they've always done.
And that's by grand
And,
design.
and
That
the
is not
second
an
thing they've done,
accident.
they've always told us that we don't have the right to defend ourselves.
That's right.
So how do we if we're, because one of you all said something earlier, I think it may have been Nicole, but how do we separate ourselves? Because we're all black, but how do we separate ourselves from those ones, like I think we said, Nicole, oh, it's not that bad. Those black people that talk like that, oh, it's not that bad. And, everything, I don't want to
Are they
jack
even?
up what
But
you
are
said.
they even worth worrying about?
But those will be the ones that will just be, those will be the ones that jack up anything for us, though.
Mm-hmm.
If we're trying to come together, those will be the ones that'll be, to jack up a vote per se.
And that's why people like Kevin Samuels bother me, because it's like you create division when look, we got bigger issues. We got people armed and are not afraid to shoot. This man was not afraid. He put himself on lock. So, but you got these other folks dividing us that are actually aiding and abetting. You're helping white supremacy culture. You're actually helping because you're separating black men and women from each other. You're creating division. And that's why that man, it irritates me to death. I'm like, he ain't here, but I'm like, this is not helping us. Harriet Tubman would have left you. You would have got left.
Yes.
Or shot.
Right.
Hello.
Because you're not helping us. We don't have time.
And the thing is, we cannot worry about other people's message.
That's right.
I think we spend so much time being reactionary instead of proactive. Is we're worried about Candace Owens. I'm in the phase where it's 8, almost 9 o'clock. I can tell you what she is, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, is whoever screams the loudest. So as much intentionality as they put in them playing chess while we over here playing checkers, that's the problem. This has been cultivated for 30, 40, 50, 100 years.
It's a long game. It's a long game.
And we want somebody we want another Martin. We need another Malcolm. We want somebody to lead us. But like I said before, you have to first lead your house.
Yeah.
Then lead an institution. Then when we get a bunch of institutions, then we got to move stealthily and in quiet.
And do you think it would be easier to have another Malcolm or Martin now with social media, or harder?
They're killing us.
Exactly. They're not even letting us get to the point to where we want to even break the ground of being those two great leaders, because they'll knock us off.
Yeah, and I mean that's the reason why you cannot have that as a model. That worked in 1968. That worked in 1965.
It's a new time.
They don't have that model. If you look at how they operate, they don't have that model. They have a lot of different dissenters just spreading a lot of different messages, influencing a lot of different people. We're using our influence in TikTok, and I mean, I love it. I be up at night watching y'all dance. It's amazing. But if we were sneaking conversations in those dances, and there are some people that do that.
Right.
And we need to just start building those messages and upping those platforms and saying, look, this is what we're going to do. Look, I'm going to do this. I see this is a need. I'm going to do this. I see that's a need. Okay, we're going to, One United is the biggest Black bank online. Okay, we don't have to put all of our money there. Let's just put $100 a month. Start building that bank.
Well, I think
and then we have to ask for them.
A lot of us do too is we have to instill trust in the Black community.
Yeah.
We gotta start trusting ourselves and trusting each other. Because like you said, Sheryl, I mean, all y'all said it, this divide has been strategically created, to make these separate tribes where we don't come together. So we got to find a way to just start trusting each other. I think that's one baby step that we can do. you know, to just start, you know. And I think a few weeks ago, I went to the African marketplace in Leimert Park, and it was all the Black vendors out there. And I said, I'm going to be intentional about seeing some of these Black vendors, you know, because they have the same exact thing that I would get in Trader Joe's, you know. So let me support some Black vendors. Let me put my Black down. Let me recycle it right here. I felt good about doing that because it was a little step to show that, yo, I trust you, you know, until you mess up. You know, but I think we deserve that. I think there are so many Black entrepreneurs that deserve a shot by their own. You know, they just deserve it.
And we have to invest in us just as much as we invest and put our money in their pockets.
Right, because Nicole did an event a few weeks ago to bring networking and Black entrepreneurs together, and those kind of things. We can do the flyers. We can put the flyers on car winches, whatnot, and you'll still get 3 people that's coming. Yeah, and that's
fine. That's fine, because you know why?
It's a baby step.
Yeah, that's fine. Them 3 people will come and they will shop and they'll come back. And so I've been doing the pop-up shops FYI since 2018. So I'm just put that out there. And I will also say, going back to the conversation about the leaders, we all have the power to lead. Nobody told me, Nicole, you should do a pop-up shop and do this thing. I said, I want to do a pop-up shop, and I did it. I didn't have to ask. I didn't wait for permission. The degree is not done yet. I don't have $1 million, but I did it. And all of us have that power to do that. And I think that's the other end of the argument. We're looking for Malcolm and Martin, the reincarnation. They're sitting in front of you. They're on the bus with you. They're the one that's on the street corner. It's you. And there's something that you can do today with your immediate power to make a difference. It could be helping the kids down the street with their math homework. That's how we do that. We don't just wait, because the cavalry is not coming. And I'm not talking about that cavalry. I'm talking about the other cavalry. Then it's not coming. We are the ones that we're waiting for. We have to do it because they're not going to do it for us. And I always tell people, ain't nobody going to care more about you than you. So if you don't care, Brad ain't going to care. He don't have to.
He doesn't have to. And we have to be the Harriet Tubmans of today.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I was
saying that was a great benediction, because Kwame is going to find us if we go over 9 o'clock. You know, we're all Pyro people. So in 30 seconds, I want each of you to give us some closing comments. What do you want the folks to leave with? Nomsa, you're our guest. You go first.
Action, taking action. We have to move beyond the conversation and just the talking about what we're mad about, but be really intentional and strategic about how do we really create this world, this space that welcomes and sees the humanness and our dignity and respect us as people, as humans. So action.
Boom. I'm all about community. I'm about partnership. We got to get together. There's too much division. This person did that. That person did that. I don't like them because they're this. Look, we all need to be, we all in the same gang. Okay. And there's other people that out here that are intentional about destroying us. We ain't got time. We ain't got time for the BS. That's all I'm going to say, because I could go on, but I'm not.
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I'm just saying that you have to stay ready. Understand that apathy no longer works. You have to do many steps, just like an emergency kit. You got to have a gun. You got to have your emergency kit ready. You got to have your education on point. You got to have your garden on point. You just have to know what you're actually dealing with, because you can't say you want a revolution, but you don't know how to be a soldier. So stay ready.
I'm going to have to put that in one of my songs right there. I like that, Sheryl. Boom. Sing that real quick.
Right. So, y'all.
If you stay ready. Exactly.
Oh my God. Ladies, you have been a breath of fresh air. I love us. I love all the melanin I'm seeing on this screen. It is phenomenal. I love that people can tune in and see us.
Yes.
You know, and like I said, I don't knock nothing is going on, but we need to have balance in our community. We can have a good laugh over here and then hit home over here and go over there and learn some recipes over there. It's enough for all of us to really just empower each other. So thank you for those words of wisdom that you closed out with. Yo, I'm not going to do an exit and all that. We're going to just leave together. So if you guys like this Black AF T-shirt is courtesy of my frat brother Joseph Wallace. He is on the thread tonight. He sent this to me as a gift. Georgia Shift, and I am loving it. I thought this shirt would be appropriate to wear for tonight's conversation. Prayers going up.
Yes.
Prayers going up to the city of Buffalo. Prayers going up to the families of those who lost a loved one during this horrific hate crime. Prayers going up to Dana, who has been personally affected by the tragedy. Prayers going up to all those who have been victims to racially motivated hate crimes. You know, and then prayers going up to us as Black people, because we need some strength, you know, and we are holding fast to this plow, but it's time for us to see the harvest. You know, we have been tilling this soil for centuries, and it is now time for our harvest. So we gotta all come together. We gotta find a way to just work together, whether you are Malcolm, Martin, Harriet, Sojourner, Frederick, Nicole, Sheryl, Dana, Nomsa, whoever you are, you know, be intentional. That's my favorite word, Nomsa. Be intentional about your purpose. Be intentional about your calling. Be intentional about your power. And most importantly, be intentional about your influence, because words have power. And what you put out on social media can literally change lives and change the trajectory of how Black people navigate through the Black experience. So let's be mindful of that. All right. That wraps up our show on tonight. We're back tomorrow night for another phenomenal episode. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe to the Donta Show on YouTube. Subscribe to Pyro Media Network on YouTube. And just check us all out. All of us are on Pyro in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So until then, y'all, keep your head up, stay strong, and know that you are not in this alone. Take care. God bless and good night.
Peace out.
Amen.